Welcome back, Guardians. All right, it is Halloween, October, obviously, 2024. Although, from what I understand, I think Halloween is one of those celebrations that differs.
I imagine
But
that
Halloween
it must
itself,
be
the festival
terribly
itself, is
exciting.
practiced here in North America, is on the 31st of October. So,
Remember,
yeah, titling
we are
these
strongest together.
video very clearly, it's not clickbait. This is genuinely a petty gripe. Uh, where is it? Here we go. Expert haunted sector. Complete an expert haunted sector. So I attempted this twice, and guess how? Solo, because you can't. There's no matchmaking in it. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but one of the things that I've been trying to do in this game is play this game as a single player game because I don't want this because I don't always have the time to wait around for other people, nor do I want other people to have to wait around for me. So it's matchmaking here, but not here because they're forcing you to play with other players. And the challenge rating, the combat difficulty is not even that high. I mean, this is dungeon levels, to be honest. Although I did find it to be a significant struggle because I'm playing a hunter and Bungie absolutely fucking hates hunters for some reason. Constantly getting the nerf. Like if my lucky pants were still doing 400% instead of 250%, I could have more or less easily cleared the majority of that lost sector. That I was in the Clovis Bray sector, so I don't know. Maybe another sector would be different. It's hard to say, but I think it's kind of BS that this is requiring you to match up with other players, and then on top of it, if you go into the uh, the fire team settings, the LFG settings. Where is the LFG settings? Here we go. Fire team record. Sorry, I don't use it. And you want to create one. There's nothing there. Exotic man, offensives, onslaught, fallen empire hunts, social helm and tower. That's what you get. See what I'm talking about here? See what I'm saying here? So if they're going to force us to match up ourselves with other players during these events, um, they should open up the other to include said event. And I know it's a petty gripe. I mean, I could easily reach out to whoever's playing on my clan right now, but I mean, I don't want to interfere with their time, and I don't really have all afternoon to spend with everything else that they want to do. I know it sounds weird, but it's not going to be very common that you go and say, "Hey, bud, help me with with this higher level activity. I just can't get through it. My gear's not up to max. I don't have the unlocked special prismatic abilities that will make this easier. I know you do. Would it be cool if we teamed up for this event?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And then afterwards, it's just common courtesy to go ahead and offer to help them with something they want to do because that's the way you do this kind of stuff, but I don't have the time today for that. So I have to wait till either Friday or Saturday to try and clear that one objective. And honestly, it's bullshit. I mean, there's nothing in the challenge that's actually going to benefit me as a player. It's all cosmetic crap. I'm not even that thrilled about this. The shader here, I mean, you can't even preview it. It'd be nice if you could preview some of this stuff. I mean, as an artist, selling artist, well, once upon a time, um, before I don't know what happened, and now I don't get to sell anywhere. Uh, the, uh, the strategy that I had as a selling artist, and it used to piss off some of the galleries, so maybe that's probably why the reason is there, is that first of all, I would take the piece off the wall and hand it to the customer, the prospective customer, and get them to make a physical connection to it because art is that it is a physical connection. And honestly, you can't get any more physical with art than tattooing and song and dance. But with 2D visual art that hangs on a wall or sits on a pedestal, you kind of want to get it into that customer's hand so they can see it in their presence. They can feel it tactily. Um, and that used to irritate some of the places that I would sell at. And then, of course, if they're really, really into it, I could tell they're really into the piece, but they don't want to pay that price point. I would take a hit on my cut just to lower the price enough for them. And Fortunately, though, I was working with some people that were totally cool with both aspects. Unfortunately, those individuals have either moved out of state or have basically gotten out of the art business for whatever reasons. I mean, COVID did a lot to fuck everything over for that. Um, and I'm, as you could tell, just by my griping here about my reticence to network in this game anymore. I'm not that kind of a networking type of individual. I know that teamwork makes the dream work, and I'm aware of that, and I'm willing to play along. But I'm an open book. One of the reasons why I think I have been slow to go on getting the webcam is that I wear all my emotions on my face. I had a coworker one time tease me that if ever I shaved my eyebrows, she might not ever know how I was feeling, um, which I thought was sweet because I knew what she meant. I knew that she was I knew who she was, who she is, hopefully still. But anyway, and it's true because I mean immediately I don't lie because I can't. You can see everything on me that the moment you ask me a question, if I don't have a straight answer for you, I'll just say I don't have a straight answer for you on that. It's complicated, and then I'd rather not be brought into this position because I'm not the one who's supposed to be providing that answer. You need to talk to somebody else. And if I was allowed to let that person be known, then I would say yes. But if I'm not allowed to let someone be known as to who put down the law on this particular event, I'm going to say I don't have the authority to say either way, and I don't have the authority to divulge who that person is. But it's above my chain of command. I could tell you that. Um, and then, if they really want to push the issue, they can go above my head. I don't fucking care. I've never had an ego invested in anything that I ever, and no matter what job or function I was ever part of, my ego never played a part in it. And a lot of times people would try to either flatter me or intimidate me. I'm like, you might as well be shouting at a payphone, man. Because I don't fucking care either way. This is how it's going to go down. And if you don't want to play that rule, then either find somebody more pliant or take your business somewhere else. I don't care. And that might be a really bad attitude. That I can appreciate that might be a bad attitude. So yeah, if you're going to make it so that we have to reach out and harass other players to play with us, then at least put that activity in the fucking matchmaking LFG. That's the onboard system. I hate going to third party shit. I absolutely cannot stand it. I am really not even. I mean, I've been like that since I was little. Uh, it's like, one of the reasons why I like boxed sets of RPGs is because they come with everything you need to play. I don't have to go and buy, dice and character sheets separately or pencils separately. One of the things I loved about the early D&D box sets is that everything you needed to play was in that box. The only thing you needed other than, what was in that box is another person to play. And typically you weren't going to be playing unless you had another person to play. Well, I had since learned that, hey, you know what? I don't even need another person to play because I have systems that allow me to play any RPG I want completely alone. And if somebody wants to come in and join the game halfway through, they're perfectly capable of doing that. They could drop in and drop out. And it's actually, I tentatively calling it the Gygaxian rhythm because Gygax, when he set up his campaign worlds, this is a total segue off the topic of the video, I am aware. When Gygax set up his campaign worlds, they were meant to be dynamic. That the table was not static, not like Critical Role, where you're going to get a whole year of the same, six actors sitting there doing their thing. This was like, one day you might have Tom and Judy. The next day you might have Judy and Bertha. The next day you might have Judy, Bertha, and Tom. The next day after that, you might have completely different players. You know, but they were all playing in the same campaign world, and the DMs would get together, once a week, and or if a major event happened that night, and would share that. Go, yeah, my party did this in this dungeon, so we got to make sure that that dungeon is noted as being cleared out. So if anybody else goes in there, they're just going to find cobwebs and bones. And that was really hard to do uh, when I was growing up because most people weren't playing big tables. I say big tables as in like more than three players. The most I ever had at a table as a dungeon master were three players. That was my biggest game ever. And the biggest game that I ever played in was literally four players. The three of us as players. Well, actually, there were five of us. The game master and then 4 players. That was the biggest table that I was ever at as a player. And oh my god, we were playing Shadowrun, which turns can go on forever. People want to bitch and complain about how long it takes a combat turn in D&D. They've never played Shadowrun, so or Pathfinder for that matter. So yeah, yeah, Crimea River Summer Child. Anyway, wrap this shit up. Bungie, if you pick this up, if somehow this reaches your ears, guys, it takes nothing to code matchmaking for a special event. You can even just put it in as special events. You don't even have to go crazy and say something wacky. You can just go into like, creating, go to other, and then just have down here special events or holiday event. Just so people know what they're matching for. Because if I put in, if I put in social Helm and Tower, and then people start showing up, and I'm like, yeah, surprise, we're doing the Nightmare expert. And they're like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. And I don't like that bait and switch kind of shit. So, Bungie, fucking A, come on, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. What the fuck's going to happen when you start offering solo ops? How are solo players supposed to engage with higher levels of, I mean, because I don't consider nightmares or the haunted forest or haunted sectors or whatever the fuck they're called anymore. What are they called now? Haunted sectors. I don't consider these to be fucking end game content or even mid game content, even though it's rated like that. Come on, give me a fucking break. The most it should be 2 triangles on there. It should be about as difficult as a legendary lost sector that you can solo. And I know there are people out there who are soloing this, but then again, those people, they're at the fucking activity cap already, and they're sporting things like prismatic, and they're sporting adept weapons, and they're fucking warlocks. Thank you. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I'm gonna go blow some aliens up. And until next time, happy Halloween. Be nice, play fair, have a good time out there, but be safe too.